Hey, I hope everybody is doing well. I like to hear from you and miss you guys. Wanted to talk today a little bit about what it means to have compassion. I don't know if you caught last week's message or not. I know you can go back and watch it on YouTube if you want. I really told a lot of personal stories, and we had just a really, really good time with the Lord, and the Holy Spirit was working on our lives. And so you could even hear a pin drop during that time. So go back and check it out. What I wanted to talk about compassion with you for just a moment is that I'm sure you probably know, you know me, most of you know me pretty well now, that I occasionally get emotional about certain things. I can almost hear Hannah's head going up and down. On occasion, tears will well up in my eyes and lumps will form in the back of my throat. Last Sunday's message, the 22nd of January, was an example of that. I can't always see it coming, but when it hits hard, and it's hard to hold back. My dad passed away, over 10 years ago, and he was this way too about birthdays and holidays and anniversaries. In particular, he often would break into tears during his prayer for the birthday meal for either of his two children, myself or my sister Ruth. When I was little, it used to make me chuckle, and my sister and I would steal glances at one another during the prayer and kind of laugh a little bit. But now that I'm older, I get it, right? I inherited my dad's ears, my dad's nose, and his sentimental nature. I cry during TV shows and movies too. A couple examples: Marley and Me, A Little House on the Prairie, A Man Called Otto, just saw it and loved it, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, and a host of other movies and TV shows that hit me in the feels. The danger for me is to feel moved, but not to actually move when I'm faced with something that hits me in the feels. And I think this extended example from Kyle Idleman, a book that I'm reading, author's Kyle Idleman, explains it well. He says, "My wife will tell you I can't watch an episode of Little House on the Prairie without wiping away a few tears. And my heart is broken when a commercial comes on with images of starving children living in poverty. If I see someone in pain, I feel for them, and for a long time I understand compassion to be a feeling. And for a long time I understood compassion to be a feeling, so I thought of myself as a compassionate person. But I traced the times Jesus had compassion in the gospel stories. I noticed that a conjunction almost always followed his feeling of compassion. It's Jesus had compassion and, right? In Matthew chapter 20, verse 34, Jesus had compassion on two blind men and touched their eyes. In Mark chapter 1, verse 41, Jesus had compassion on a leper and healed him. In Mark chapter 6, 34, Jesus had compassion on the people who were hungry and began feeding them. And in Matthew chapter 9, verse 35 through 38, Jesus had compassion on the people and prayed for them. You see, when Jesus felt compassion, it was followed by action, and it always created a story. So many of the one-at-a-time stories in the Gospels start with Jesus' compassion. I bet you have lots of opportunities to express your compassion in action in your experiences at school and at work, in your families and in your neighborhood. I wonder what stories God will start with your compassion. When you listen to him, when you see with his eyes, when we feel compassion and we act, what will God do? I hope you have a blessed week. Miss you. Call if you need anything. Hope to see you soon. All right. Have a great day.